One of the things that caller mentioned about, some of the positives that may come out of this. And I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a positive that's going to be lasting on some level, but I think there are going to be a significant number of people who are radicalized, at least in the context of understanding the power that they have. That is a function of their labor. We are seeing more and more sort of strikes and work stoppages. Whole Foods workers are planning, I don't know if they're doing it today, but they are planning a sick out.
Yep.
We saw yesterday, and I don't know how successful it was. I think in some respects, these things, sometimes you need to do them a couple of times before enough people get wind of it. But the Instacart folks basically did a labor action. There is a walkout that was happening at Staten Island Amazon warehouse. Let's check out this. And we should say, as this gets loaded, that Amazon ended up firing one of the organizers of this walkout, claiming that they were firing him because the employee was Chris Smalls. He worked as an assistant manager at the Amazon warehouse in Staten Island. And they said it fired him for repeatedly violating social distancing guidelines and putting the safeties of others at risk, after it asked him to stay home on paid sick leave after he came into close contact with a diagnosed associate with confirmed case of COVID-19. That sounds a little bit suspicious. Let's play the clip of this walkout in Staten Island. It's just quite a coincidence. Now, they have Amazon's confirmed COVID-19 cases in at least 11 of its warehouses.
Wow.
They
in New York or nationwide?
I think nationally. And they claim that they're working hard to keep all employees safe. They just added or attempted to add, I don't know how many they actually did, but they were looking to add 100,000 workers. And if you're going to do that, you have a responsibility to keep them protected. If you have to inhibit how quickly people get stuff, you can change the priorities. I mean, I know that the Amazon supposedly has done that already, but they could do it more. They're looking at this as not a short-term business opportunity. They are looking at this as a way of driving other businesses out of business. They are looking at this as, to achieve their goal of being the marketplace, not being a player in the marketplace, being the marketplace. And they are doing so not just on the sort of like typical exploitation of their workers, which is horrific enough, but they're also doing it on now exploiting their health. I mean, within the context of this pandemic, I mean,
there could be a class action lawsuit. I mean, I'm surprised that no one has stepped up already and decided to sue them for putting them at risk, for handing them one sanitary, one. I mean, listen, they have the goods. It's not like they don't have access to the goods. They have the goods to provide, hand sanitizer that lasts more than a day.
And I would imagine at one point there could be customers who,
of course. Yeah.
I don't know. But certainly it's good to see workers. I mean, this is one of those situations where I think workers in particular are realizing that even in the most dire circumstances, their employers are not helping them.
Right.
That at the end of the day, they are just chattel, that they are just cogs. Here is a construction worker in Ontario. I think I saw this one a couple of days ago. It's unclear exactly who it is, but it's Jack Oliveira. He's a union rep. It's unclear. This is on from Friday. It's unclear what spurred this, but towards the end, it looks like he's getting into a fight. Here it is.
Okay. If I lose my job, I lose my job. I shouldn't be speaking like this. But I don't care. I don't give a fuck anymore because I'm scared too. I got an 86-year-old home with oxygen at home. My wife is crying every time I go home because she doesn't know I'm going to kill her father. If I have something. Guys, it's in your hands. You decide what you want to do. I heard the electrician walked out. That was their choice. You guys have the same choice to do it. Okay? Let's look out for each other. We don't have 6 feet amongst each other here. When you're in the work site there, you guys don't have 6 feet around you. We're all breathing on each other. Where's your eating facilities? Are they sanitized? You have water to wash your hands when you eat your sandwiches? I leave it in your hands, guys. You guys decide what you want to do. I give you the information. Okay? That man there did not show me the washing facilities in this and he kicked me out of his trailer. He doesn't own anybody. You don't need to be intimidated by that man. He doesn't own us. Nobody owns us, not even the government. You have a family at home too, eh? You have a responsibility. You have a responsibility. Yeah, you can talk. Because you're scared for yourself. What about these men? They're not scared, right? Where's the washing facilities for these men? They're not here. You have it by your trailer. You want to protect yourself, not these men. Okay? You scared of me. You guys hear it? You guys do what you want, my friend. Okay? You guys do what you want. You scared what I want.
I mean, basically, it's a situation where these guys are on the job site and there's no facilities for them to wash their hands. There's no facilities, there's no masks to protect them because they they can't maintain 6 feet from each other, of course, on a construction site. And the guy's pissed, and I think we're going to see a lot of this as time goes on. People, because this is slow moving in many respects. I think there's a lot of people who are going to realize, like, I'm getting shafted on top of getting shafted.
But they know that. I mean, I think that most workers know they're being shafted by the corporation. So it's like, how do we bridge the divide there between, okay, you're being shafted by the corporation and Donald Trump is protecting them. I don't know if everybody's getting that, and taking it even further, and Joe Biden is protecting them. That's, I think, the failure of our movement right now. We've been trying, but we have to figure out a way of really connecting that tissue a little bit more. I mean, I don't know if Bernie Sanders was able to do that, but these are the people who are becoming radicalized, more and more radicalized, but they also don't have the political power to exercise other than walking out as workers, which is tremendous. I mean,
I think that's, I mean, in many respects, I think that's sufficient for now. Like, I mean, sure. I think ultimately, I'm not as worried about these guys, and these guys are in Canada, obviously, but so it's not, but I'm not as worried about them making the connection from an electoral standpoint at this point. I'm more interested in workers becoming aware of the power they have by withholding their labor.
Sure.
And in many respects, we can help by Instacart's going on strike. I mean, yesterday, my understanding is that Instacart announced, like, our orders were up 30% from the day before, blah, blah, blah. And that very well may have been true. I don't know, the first time you go out on Instacart strike, I don't know that people know about it. And there has to be education that this is not just about the Instacart workers. Mm-hmm. It's also about the Instacart customers. Everybody else has to show support to them. and basically say, we're not going to do this. And in many respects, it's like, they're, you know, these are two sides of the same coin, and it's building both the awareness in people who work that they have power through the withholding of their labor, through the solidarity with each other and withholding their labor. And then also creating the sense of solidarity between those people who are working and those people who are customers and using that work or purchasing it in some way.
Right. I mean, the sad thing is that it's not being covered on cable news at all. I mean, it's really, I'm watching CNN every single night. It's very focused on Donald Trump and the Corona task force, but really isn't going beyond that. And so I think, you know, this is a bright spot, but these aren't, for the most part, these aren't activists that are being union organizers. I mean, remember the Uber walkouts? I mean, New York is a union state, and people were paying more attention in New York City when there were Uber walkouts and Lyft walkouts. But at the end of the day, you know, they still have tremendous power because there's no union. And that's in New York, where their folks in politics are even more inclined to support them. So how does that work on a national scale when there's no union protecting them? There's no media to pick up on it other than social media. And the cycle's moving so fast that, you know, in 4 days, folks might forget. Maybe I'm being a pessimist here, but I feel like it needs to be mobilized a little bit more.
Well, I mean, I think so. And I think, you know, we're in a different context, but, you know, it's encouraging to look at what happened with the teachers. In 2018, you had the Red State Revolt. You had at least a half a dozen states, red states, where teachers had no unions. And now teachers are uniquely, I think, positioned to have success in those type of strikes. But more and more, I think, hopefully, you know, it starts with just more awareness of like, you know, these guys on this job site, maybe 30% of them realize like, wait a second, we're getting screwed here. And then they say like, and we're getting screwed like that UPS driver's getting screwed.
Right.
And the UPS driver's like, you know, I'm getting screwed like, you know, those people who work at Whole Foods or, you know, the Instacart or whatever. I mean, I think that's the way that it happens. And people seeing other people get screwed in those contexts, I think in some respects clarifies how they're being screwed too, if that makes sense. So
totally.